What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Will on a Whim. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of ways that you can speed up the process of you growing out your natural hair. But first, go ahead and click that subscribe button for weekly videos on how to take care of your natural hair. Okay, so this is a question that I get maybe the most. It's,
Will, how do you grow your hair? Like, Will, how do you speed it up?
we all know that growing out your hair takes forever. It can really be excruciating, right? It can feel like you're just watching grass grow. Like, it's boring, first of all, to watch grass grow, but it's also like, I don't know, it just hurts almost to sit there and, you know, check every single day, pulling your hair down, seeing where it falls, and seeing if you had any type of growth. I myself went through this, okay? 3 years ago, when I started growing out my natural hair in college, I was every day in the mirror sort of just taking a curl. I remember this so vividly. I would just take like a curl and I would pull it down and I would see, okay, it's there now. All right, so I'm gonna check back in a couple of weeks. But no, of course, I checked back every single day and it would fall in this, it would seem like it fell in the same place. And I was just like, bruh, when is this ever going to, like, is this even growing? Like, how do I even know if it's growing? Part of the reason why we think that our hair isn't growing is because we're so obsessed, right? We're so obsessed with growth that we're not really just letting our hair be and letting it do its own thing. The whole point of today's video is to nurture your hair and give it what it needs, but also to sort of just like leave it alone. So today I'm gonna be giving you some tips on how to just let your hair be. All right, so tip number one is to minimize the products that you're using. Okay, so in this work, when you start to get really involved in the natural hair community, you kind of just want to try out every single product that you see. I go to Target and I sit in the section where there are natural hair products like for literally hours. It's so ridiculous how I just sit there and I literally just like look at every single product and I like dream of just like buying it all, okay? But, you know, besides the fact that like everything costs so much money and, you know, I don't really want to be buying a bunch of stuff, it's really good to just like hold back on all that, right? So that you can not only just save some dollars, but also you don't want to be using products that really don't do too much for your hair. So the way that you find products that don't do too much for your hair so that you can go ahead and get rid of those products is that you look for certain things after you apply that product. You want to make sure that your hair feels moisturized after you put the product in. So I have a couple of products in my stash that actually when I put them on, it doesn't feel like it's moisturizing my hair. It kind of like Power in Your Curl, if you guys know who she is, I'll link her channel in the description, but she really described it well when she used one product by Curls. I don't remember which product it was, but she put some of the product into her hair, and as she was sort of using the prayer hands method, it felt like it was skipping. And she explained it really well, and I'm not explaining it well here, but if you go, maybe I'll link that specific video in the description so that you can watch it. But she really explained it well. Like, if that product is not good at really coating each of your hair strands, it's not good for your hair, and you probably should just like nix it, take it out. Hasta la vista, you know what I mean? Probably just not good for your hair. So you should be looking for those sort of things, whether or not it's actually moisturizing your hair. Two, how long after you put the product in is your hair still moisturized? So I have a couple of products also that I can put it in one day and my hair is like popping and it's good, but then like the next day my hair is dry again and it's just like gross. So nix it, goodbye, hasta la vista. Get rid of those products. Make sure that you just have like a couple of products that work. You do not have to go out and buy a bunch of different products to put into your hair. Just make sure that you have a couple of good products that moisturize your hair, okay? And do it well and keep that moisture in there for long periods of time. I found that what works for me is something that if you've been watching me for a long time, you already know what it is. Okay, it's just water, grapeseed oil, and Equal Styler. Those things all used together really give my hair the moisture it needs. The water is moisture. Let's not fool ourselves. I think a lot of people think that they can just put oil in their hair and their hair's moisturized. No, you have to have some sort of water component to put in your hair, and then you seal that in maybe with an oil. But only if you have water in your hair is your hair moisturized. And only if you're allowing that water to get into your hair cuticle, which is a whole nother issue in and of itself is your hair moisturized. But the whole point of this is that you need to just find a group of products that work for you, that moisturize your hair and keep that moisture in for a long time. Tip number 2 is to protective style. A really good way to speed up the process is to protective style. So that means putting your hair in twists, braids, any sort of like a weave is actually a protective style, because underneath it, if you're taking care of your hair underneath it, that protective style will actually work out for you. But if you're not taking care of the hair underneath the weave, the wigs, the lace fronts, whatever else is out there nowadays, if you're taking care of the hair underneath it, then you're good to go. It's a protective style that's working for you. When your hair is moisturized and placed into a protective style, you are doing exactly what this video is about, which is leaving your hair alone. Okay, you gave it its nutrients and now you're just leaving it alone. We can really stress our hair out if we're changing our hairstyles up like every single day, or if we're playing in our hair every single day. Think of somebody just really just taking your whole body, okay, you, like your entire body, and just bending you up every single day, like braiding your body around another body. Like that's stressful. You know what I mean? So think of your hair in terms of individual hair strands. If I like braid and rebraid and retwist and do a bunch of stuff to my hair like daily, I'm stressing my hair out, and that's what causes breakage. Okay, so your hair isn't all that like strong. You can break it apart. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're leaving your hair alone so that you can reduce breakage. And a way to leave your hair alone is to put it in a protective style and keep it in for, I don't know, 5 to 10 days to 2 weeks, right? And then you can go ahead and take that out, deep condition, wash your hair, re-moisturize, and then place it in another protective style. This past summer, that worked for me so well. I mean, I just got my hair cut at the Diva Shine Salon a few weeks back, but my hair grew so much this summer because I was really not playing games. Okay, I was putting my hair in a protective style. I had a really good, consistent regimen going on where I just put my hair in a protective style, mostly braids and twists, and I left it in for a week, moisturizing my twists and my braids maybe in the middle of the week, and then I took it out at the end of the week and then just re-moisturized and did it again. And it worked really well for me, and my hair grew really quickly. Tip number 3 is stay away from heat. Y'all hear this probably if you've been inundated with natural hair videos for some time now. You probably have heard this 1,000,001 times, but stay away from heat. It's so important. We can't stress it enough, because come on, you're literally burning your hair. And if you do it multiple times, you can really fracture your hair cuticle. And you can literally burn your cuticle to the point where it stays open. And that's not good, because your hair cuticle is sort of alive, right? It can open and then it can close in response to mild heat. And the importance of that sort of mechanism is that you can open your hair cuticle, stuff all of the good nutrients inside, all of the water, all of the good stuff. You can stuff it inside, and then you can shock it closed when it cools off, and it closes, and that's when your hair is like moisturized, right? Your hair cuticle is moisturized. It has all the good stuff inside of it. And then when it's time to, get rid of all that stuff, you open it back up with some heat, you wash your hair, put some more nutrients in it, and you close it back up. And your hair is moisturized again. But none of that can happen if you burn your hair cuticle open. Okay, so your hair cuticle opens in response to heat. If there's too much heat, it will open and it will stay open. Okay, it's like when you roll your eyes too hard, and when you were younger, your mom was like, okay, if you roll your eyes one more time, they're gonna get stuck. Okay, and this is literally the same concept, except it's true, and that's what we call dead hair. Okay, that's what we call dead hair, because it no longer works. It's no longer alive. It's burnt open. So now we can't put stuff in it and have it close, and your hair will never be moisturized again. This is also sort of a thing that happens when you dye your hair with bleach. Okay, so it's sort of like chemically burning your hair, and this is the same thing that happens with perms as well. You chemically burn your hair into its open cuticle state. This is why people who do flat iron their hair and people who do dye their hair, they have a harder time moisturizing their hair, because none of that moisture is staying in there. Also, another thing that happens when you burn your hair cuticle open is that because those cuticles are open, they're sort of like flakes, right? So you have your hair shaft, and then there's a cuticle layer around it, and that cuticle layer is just flakes, right? And they open and they close, but when they're stuck open, they're all sort of just like flaky everywhere, and then they kind of get caught, right, with other hair strands as cuticles. And this is what causes frizz, because there's just like a bunch of tugging and pulling and snatching on other hair strands, and so that increases frizz. So moral of the story, stay away from heat. and minimize your use of bleach. People do it. I'm not telling you to never use heat. I'm not telling you to never use bleach, but in terms of getting your hair to grow and getting your hair to stay moisturized, I would just say, you know, use them cautiously and make sure that you are maximally informed before you go ahead and make that decision. All right, so those are 3 tips that you can start using today. You don't have to wait, right, to start using those tips. You can use them today and see growth as soon as possible. All right, so I'm closing out this video. I do want to remind you guys that before you see growth, you have to see health. So it's important to make sure that your hair is healthy so that it can grow. And the way you keep it healthy is by using these tips that I talked about in today's video and in some of my other videos. So that brings us to the end of another episode of Will on a Whim. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up to let your boy know that you liked it. And if you liked it so much that you maybe want to stick around and see some more, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Follow me over on Instagram at WillNotWilly, and I'll see all of you back here next week for another episode of Will on a Whim. But until then, bye!